And that was the Belgian national anthem. Let's go back to the intermission. I think one of the two people might be ready for an invite, maybe. Okay. Luca is ready for the invite. Let's go. Get him the invite then. Where's Luca? Oh, come on, there we go. Luca's there. So the last person to join will be GL Beppo. And yeah, that means the lobby will be open in a second. Thank you for pointing out the no audio thing, Casper. That actually would have ruined the stream entirely. Yeah. Okay. Everyone can ready up now and enjoy the race. Go at your team VCs. Remember, if you win the race or come in the top 3, stay in your team VC and we'll drag down the cooldown room and stay in your team VC if you want an interview. Okay, have a good race. Right, there we go. Everyone's going to be ready enough now. Watch, I have 19 drivers. One person will be joining during quality, and GL Beppo actually might just be joining now. Which is always good to see. GL Beppo, there we go. 19 drivers on the grid then. Session will commence in 10 seconds. The invite to GL Beppo has been sent out. Will he join before the time runs out? No, he won't. Anyways, here we go for Belgium. Right, and here we are then. The session will begin in one moment for Belgium qualifying. It's going to be a short qualifying session, not the Q1, Q2 or Q3 format which we are used to. It's not sunny skies, it is overcast over the Spa-Francorchamps track, but it is not raining. That is interesting to note. Here we go then for one of the most historic events in the Formula 1 calendar. Definitely a lot of elevation changes and one of the longest laps of the calendar. And it will be 22 laps, which is probably one of the shortest amount of laps we have seen so far. But anyways then, let's go into the standings, where Samim won the first race and Kim Sicko third in the sprint race, which puts him up 30 points in the Drivers' Championship. Alpine and Alfa Romeo both tied in the team stands. Anything can change with this race. Anyways, here we go now to the drivers who will be coming out on the grid momentarily. Okay, here we go. Let's get the track map open. I need to send one more invite to Joe Beppo. I wouldn't let him join. Where is GL Beppo? Let's get the invite out. GL Beppo, there we go. And now, the first person coming out the pit lane will be Oprah. He's out by a mile already. Wow. But he's gone down the first DRS straight of the session. GL Beppo also now in the session, which means we'll get up to 19 drivers. Only one seat missing. But that's all good. Hello Smugme, hello Jack Craft. Welcome to the live stream of Tier 2. This is round 2 of 8 in the calendar. With the unveiling of F123 earlier today, rumours have said the season will be, the F123 game will be coming out on the 16th of June, which is one day before Racers United Tier 1 finishes and a few days after Tier 2 finishes. Just going to be perfect timing to bring us in to the new era of F1 and hopefully a better game by far. Now, we'll see Opa just rounding off Sector 2 and getting ready for Sector 3. Begin his first flying lap of the session and the first flying lap of this weekend. Or, it is a Monday, but of this race weekend. Here we go then. For Opa. He's been in Tier 1 recently. Now coming back to race in Tier 2. I'm not too sure on that exit. But I guess you're going to get the widest approach possible. And now you're going to get wide in to get in as tight as possible for turn 1. He misses the curb a little bit there. Misses the apex. But that won't scare him too much as it's only a banker lap. And now getting ready to go up Bay Rouge for the first time. And he doesn't keep it as close as he might want. But he tries to maximize his exit. And he might get a little slipstream here from the Ferrari, who is quite far behind, but the slipstream could be strong. And now, here we go then for Orpa at 34 in the Sector 1. Now going into Sector 2, the the Ferrari will be getting to him now. And he might just get a little bit more slidey, although it affects him on the straight, possibly in the corners. It's negative, and there we go, the Ferrari lets him by. And here we go for Orpa now. Oh, he gets a bit slidey, and I'm surprised he hadn't validated there. That must have meant he went pretty slow around there. There's going to be a massive heap of cars he's just going to about to come up on. The Williams will be the first of them. And he's going to try and get out of the way as soon as possible. Same with the McLaren. And I'm surprised he didn't invalidate once again. And now the final piece of traffic. Oh, he's going to back out of that lap then. Gets overcorrection on the exit. We'd actually host a practice session. These drivers on Friday, quite a few turned up. It was written in that session, which means they could be prepared for anything in the race. But now going to AT to begin his first flying lap of the session. And interesting, it will be raining come the end of this qualifying session. So these first laps really will matter for the drivers. And now, as we see, AT running now turn 1 very nicely and getting ready to go up a route. Let's see how he takes it compared to Orpa. There'll be a bit more grip going up now. There you go, you see it takes a lot more curb. And that'll be perfect for his exit. Now getting DRS straight. Nice and open. There's GL Beppo. If it doesn't let you select the team, I'm pretty sure you need to go into spectator mode and choose a team. And it's a 30 flat for AT in Sector 1. And that's going to put him up massively. Oh, no one invalidates. There's 4 times up on Orpa there. And Rolo sets a 48.5, which will 100% be beaten as Orpa's getting ready for his second lap. Overshoots a bit into turn 1. And there go Elo sets a 144.7. That is the time we are looking for. And that'll be the time for all the drivers to beat it. Samim sets a 143.3. He is on fire. What a time. Over 1.4 seconds faster than Elo's time. And now Orpa for a second shot on this flying lap. Let's see what he can produce in Sector 1. Will it be enough to beat AT? He definitely did set the fastest Sector 1. But let's see. He's going to be 3 times down in Sector 1. He might have all the time to gain though in Sector 2 and Sector 3. Because obviously that is a lot more on straight line speed down there. And Orpa sort of sets him up pretty poorly there. But now he's going to go to the downhill where if you get it wrong, you could fall off the track. Or slide off the track even, I could say. And didn't take much curb on the exit there, but that's going to set him up nicely. Next turn, oh, he gets a bit slidey, and surely he backs out of that lap. Oh no, he's carrying on, okay. Very interesting. And obviously Orpa through the very big left hander, and once again, doesn't invalidate. He is abusing the track limits as much as possible today. And now, for Orpa, it's about to round off Sector 2, goes a bit wide there. And he's going to be hoping on a better exit, which he does get. But now for Orpa, he's dropped down into P5 with that 2-minute time. And Dodge Demon must have had a little bit of a correction on his first time. As he's 46 seconds down on Dodge Demon, apparently. That will be his Sector 1 time, surely. Anyways, Dodge Demon did get a 2:17, which either means he spun or he heavily backed out on his lap. And Orpa's going to back off come the end of this lap. And we'll be going back into the pit lane. As Omega sets at 147.2. They'll definitely need to improve that one if you want to have any shot of being in the top 10. And we didn't get to see Elo or Samim's lap, which is super unfortunate. But those two are now going to dive back into the pit lane. Dragonflies. Letting the Alpine of Luca pass. And all he says is good bankers for the Alpines. However, they will have to get out fairly soon because that rain is going to be coming. If you did not see that before, here we go. Storm in 15 minutes. That will probably be around 10 minutes now. And if we have a look on the timer, that is just about when the drivers will be setting their final laps. Seth Martin, thank you for the 1 bit. I'm going to try to help GL Beppo here. There you go, you can see the weather. And Dragonfly is just completing his outlap. Is Owen any further? Is anyone even on a lap? T-Dax Sponge, he was a last minute arrival. And let's see what he can say. I don't think he would have practiced much at all for this race. Did get disqualified last race due to multiple penalties, which let's hope it doesn't happen this time. And bank 6. Pushing a bit too hard there. The tyres heat up a little bit, and I was going to get him nice and dirty on the grass. And good to mention that was an outlap from him. Now, let's go back to Dragonflies, who will just be getting ready for his first flying lap of the session. And Rolo is out of the session. He's spun, going up Air Rouge. Definitely not what him or the Ferrari team wanted, and he will be stuck in P7. Certainly going to drop that. Now, here we go, and the Williams there of, I believe that was either Freddie or Rove, severely impedes him on his outlap, or on the start of his lap, and that will definitely be a penalty come the end of this race end. And oh no, he does the same as his teammate, and he spins out at the exact same place, the Ferrari curse, and the barrier is completely messed up. And wow, that is not what you expect to see from both Ferrari drivers, and that'll see the whole team out of the session then. And the barrier is still doing a mad one, and that is just crazy. Both of the Ferraris DNF at the exact same corner. Wow. And there you go, you can sort of see him going through there. As Skirl, I believe, is on his first flying lap. Will be challenging AT for that purple Sector 1. Will he get it though? I don't think he will. He'll be around 9 tenths off of him in Sector 1 then. And now for Skirl is gonna look to beat, I don't think he's trying to beat Dodge Demon with a 32 there. Obviously the game is messed up just a little bit. But wow, both Ferraris in the exact same corner. Oh, Skull spins there. Sorry, I was trying to help GL Beppo, and I believe that is the Aston Martin of Dodge Demon who just passed him there and is on an outlap, so luckily. Okay, GL Beppo needs another invite. That's perfectly fine. GL Beppo, there you go. You've got an invite. And now, who is going to begin? Oh no, I think that was Rove who impeded a Ferrari driver there, and although it didn't really mean much in the end, it definitely couldn't be happening in the league. And Dodge Demon now beginning his first flying lap, well, his first representative. Oh no, Ian Valdez. He's gonna have to go around once again, but that rain will be coming very shortly. So yeah, Joe Beppo just checked the boxes DM. Okay, Queen Stone Age. Just Queen Stone Age on a lap is invalid. That's what the lap will be. And a T-Dax Sponge of a 1:52.7. That's around 9 seconds off of what Tamim could set in P1. And now Hugo. But Elo is going to go around and try and get his final lap set. As he is just on an invalid lap. So he's getting ready to set that final lap. And Luca, surprisingly, in the pit lane. This rain will be a bit of a gamble. The track temperature will be dropping more and more. I'm going to keep an eye on that then. And Elo does come into the pit lane. And his bank 6 is not on a valid lap. Or he is on a valid lap. But is he on a flying lap? That is going to be... I think he could be on a flying lap. He is up in Sector 1, but down in Sector 2. Go then for bank 6. He is charging the battery, or he might just be flashing, which means you're under 10%, which would definitely lose him a lot of time going down that straight. And now for bank 6, he's going to come into the pit lane. Okay, there's Luke's Giles and Freddie all out on the track. Blaze is beginning his second flying lap of the session, and we'll be looking to try take P3 maybe. Realistically right now we're looking at a P4 for him, but could have high ambitions. It all depends on what he can set. And anyways, here we go for Blaze now. We'll go through bus stop chicane. And we'll get on the main straight to begin his second flying lap of the session. Here we go for Blaze. I realise I've got the name wrong on the telemetry, which is my doing, but yeah, that's we're gonna try fix that real quick. We're gonna do it light speed. You should see it reflect in the game instantly. What number is Blaze? Blaze, yes. And then okay. Just let me cook real quick. Let me cook. Boom, it's changed. That is what I call light speed. And we also managed to change Black Poison to Samim, which is going to make it a lot easier to read. But now here we go then for Blaze. He's down in Sector 1. Let's see what he can produce in Sector 2. That track temperature might be a bit too much for him, but I don't think it will be. It might just be a poor Sector 1 from him. And it definitely is if he is down on it. And now, to beat Dodge Demon in Sector 2 with a 32.2, which is obviously an elementary issue, but is all good. And he's up in Sector 2, which is good for him. That'll be good enough for the challenge for P4. And now, here we go for Bang 6, who is also on an outlap. Let's see if Blaze can absolutely smash his time. Go through Sector 3 now. He does have enough ERS. It means he will not lose any straight line speed. And here we go into bush stop chicane for Blaze. Runs over the curb a little bit, and it's very nice. Very nice he does it on the exit now. Runs over the rumble strip there and gets a 1:45.6. Now put him 5 times ahead of Bang 6 and put him up into P4. And Rove on another invalid lap. Obviously not having a good outing today. And State Daisy is giving the tips to the Tier 2 drivers for anyone listening. Lift a little bit of a rouge, it will help you massively, is what he is saying. And then here we go then for Owen. Being his first flying lap of the session, tries to hook up the into turn 1, sort of fails to do so. But the track will be ramping up quite a bit now, and will mean all the drivers have a lot of grip, which means they'll be able to set faster lap times than ever. And I think I'm going to have to cut that short and switch to Samim, who is on his second flying lap of the session. Let's see what he can produce in Sector 2. What did he set in Sector 1? It is purple in Sector 1. So he's basically racing against his own time. And now, here we go for Samim. Running off Sector 2, getting himself ready for the long during straight. And he is green in Sector 2, which is not purple on his time. And I'm not too sure what that is. I think that is a messed up barrier, which we saw there for him. And anyways, here we go for Samim. What? What have I just done, man? Going to the bus stop chicane. And he's getting ready to finish off his lap. He's going to hook it up nice and neatly, and it doesn't take as much curb as we saw Luca do before, and set a 1:33.1, 1.6 seconds faster than Elo, and is absolutely unchallenged at the moment. Now for Elo, going on to the final straight now. Let's see what he can set. It's going to be a 1:44.4, and that's going to put him up into P2. I'm pretty sure he already was in P2, and now Lucas Giles on an invalid lap. We're going to go down to, oh no, AT is going to come out the pit lane fairly late here. And the question is, this rain was meant to be coming, but I think it is not going to be coming then. It might be moments off arriving, but there is no clouds above the track at the moment, which is going to be a relief to AT, who does need to set that final lap. And Owen sets a 1:45.8, and that'll put him up into P6. The box says that's a very good lap. And the box would be right. Same with Rolo, who says very good lap there. And Rove, once again, needs to go set that fastest lap. Or not the fastest lap, just needs to go set a valid lap. And he has absolutely no ERS whatsoever. This is probably going to be one of the slowest laps we've seen so far. Oh no. Freddy and Dodge Demon have a collision there. And I want to see what happened. Let's say he might have hit into Dodge Demon, and then we've got Rove set to 1:51.8, and that put him up into P12. I'm going to watch AT now as he is getting ready for his one and only flying lap. I know he did try to do one before, but that will see him sorry. 217.9 at 151.8. Dodge Demon did get hit into and DNF'd, I'm pretty sure, from what I could gather. Oh, and there we go then. For AT, he is, oh, he's lagging a bit. But he is a tier 1 driver. He was a tier 1 driver, but he can no longer make the Saturday date. So now he is settling for tier 2. And let's see where he can compare himself to the likes of Samim, who's at a 131.1. He's only got one shot to do this, and now random bus up again. He's going to be getting his final lap of the session. He has no time to set another lap. This lap has to be perfect. First, he will be starting from P17. And here we go then for AT. Puts up nicely into turn 1. Now exiting, gets a decent exit, and now has to set himself up perfectly for A Rouge. Let's see if he lifts or if he doesn't. And here we go. His curb and entry, and does it very nicely. Looks like he was losing the rear a bit there, but I don't think he was. And now here we go. For AT, he's going to get DRS wide open. Let's see what his top speed's going to be. It's going to be 211 or maybe even 212, 211. As he rounds off sector 1, he's only 400ths off of Samim. This could be up for a very good lap for AT. It could put him up into P1. And here we go. He has to get this second sector perfect then if he wants any shot of that pole position. Now AT hooking up very nicely, using as much of the track as humanly possible. And now for AT going through the left-hander, he's getting ready to finish off sector 2. Let's see how he compares to Samim, who Samim didn't get a purple lap, oh not a purple lap, a purple sector in sector 2. So let's see how he does it. Let's see if he can do any better. If he does get purple, that means he is definitely on a faster lap than Samim. And here we go, it's green, but the timing screen is sort of messed up, which means it doesn't show if it's on dodge, but the game says it's a purple sector 2. And here we go then, for AT just get his foot down to the floor and pray that his top speed is better than Samim's. And now for AT going into bus stop chicane, has no traffic whatsoever. It's been a somewhat perfect lap for him. And now rounding the final corner, going to get his foot down the throttle once again, and he's going to cross the finish line to get a 1:36 or 7, a 1:43.6 or 7. That's what I was meant to say. And that put him up into P2, and Samim has absolutely smashed the competition there, and is 6/10 ahead of any competition. Wow, what a lap from Samim and AT to bring it back there at the very last moment of qualifying. Elo in P3, Lucas Giles in P4. Interesting race. Let's see if anyone can bring the challenge to Samim. At the moment, he looks like he's got a runaway lead. But remember, there is 22 laps of this race, and it is not all done in qualifying. Some people do have faster race pace than qualifying pace. And Hannah, you get another drink. Very lovely. Alright, we go, oh my days. It is a wet race, and this is what the drivers have been practicing for. GL Beppo, it's too late for you to join the session now. Yeah, unfortunate for you, but I guess that's just, I don't know, unfortunate for you. Anyways, here we go. I can't tell if this is, I think this might actually be full wet conditions for the second race running in Racers United Tier 2. It will be a full wet session, or maybe inters. We'll have a see, or we'll have a look once the session gets underway in a second. Well, this is going to be an interesting start, and once again, just incredible. And it's 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go for Belgium. And it is full wet conditions, and Samim gets a decent start. AT, though, with the inside line. Might be able to challenge him in at turn 1. He takes P1. Samim into P4. Lucas Giles takes P2 round the outside of Elo. And Elo up into P2. Now battling with Samim. 3 wide. What a start it's been for those 4. But Samim dropped from P1 already. AT nearly a second ahead. He has definitely got the best of the start. And is going to be able to challenge. Oh, Lucas Giles hitting the back of Elo. Oh my days, and it's going to be able to overtake him. Some would say that was controversial. He might need to get the position back. And Elo now challenging with Lucas Giles. Samim going to try to get to the side of Lucas Giles as well. And now Lucas Giles drops into P4. He doesn't have enough straight line speed as Samim and Elo both fighting for P2. But AT has maximised his start and is now running in P1 by over 2 seconds. And Rolo gets a spin out. Same with Luca, and they're both running in the back. But Omega lost his wing at the start of this race and has put him nearly 20 seconds off of last position. And now Lucas Giles managed to gain the position back on Elo. You got to remember, he will have so much more downforce on this track, and that will allow him to go side by side or even get more in the corners. Like you can see there, you just be able to hook it up a bit nicer. And Elo will be struggling a bit because he doesn't have as much downforce as Lucas Giles. And now Queen Stone Age does have a 3-second penalty, or might be a 5-second penalty. Same with Freddy, but that is not to worry about. Now Lucas Giles trying to look for the move on Elo, is unable to at the moment, and now this is where Lucas Giles might lose out the most. If Samim can stick behind, he will be able to get the move on Lucas Giles. But Lucas Giles just is able to manage to maximise that exit, and is not going to be able to challenge Elo, but actually won't be able to because of the straight line speed. He will get a nice posty slipstream though to keep him very close, and he might be able to challenge into plus stop. There you go, you can see into the turn there. He's just got so much more downforce. He's able to go so much later, and he might actually go for the move here. Here we go, Lucas Giles into plus stop. It's going to go down the inside of Elo, and Elo's going to try to stick it down the inside once again on Lucas Giles, but now Lucas Giles will lose out to Elo possibly with the straight line speed. Lucas Giles will be able to go later on the brakes into turn 1 though, and now Elo looking for the move is going to have to stay behind it. Lucas Giles has managed to fight his way back up into P2. Oh yeah, and AT, Elo and Samim both fighting for position. Samim has to drop off just a little bit there, and wow, Lucas Giles managed to perfect that there, but now Elo will be able to stay close behind of him and go for the move down Radion. Here we go then. For Elo, he's definitely got more straight line speed. This is definitely what he wanted, and he's going to be able to get Lucas Giles back. He's going to pull to the inside and doesn't even need to stick it down the inside. Be able to pull back onto the racing line, and Lucas Giles is going to have to follow behind. That's allowed Samim to also get back in contention with him. And Samim, what a great colour he had, but is just unable to pull it out in the rain at the moment. Let's have a look at the weather then. It is going to lighten out as the session progresses. But the first few laps of this race, he will be stuck behind on the inters, and Lucas Giles will be a bit of a disadvantage once the rain lightens up, because in this condition obviously you need a bit more downforce, and that's helping him get to stay with the pack at the moment. But as the track dries out, he will lose out a bit more as the downforce is less needed. In ATG and Elo running away with the lead at the moment. 3.4 seconds is the gap, and AT has absolutely maximised his start, and what a debut it is for him in Tier 2. He's definitely represented McLaren very well compared to the old driver of Semi, who obviously was a bit controversial. Now Bank 6 going side by side with Blaze. Blaze is going to try to stick it down the inside, and does he have more straight line speed? We haven't seen much from them as Bank 6 goes off the track a little bit. That's allowed Skull with straight line speed. Oh, there's a little collision there, and Bank 6 loses it on the exit, and that causes him to swerve into Skull. But Skull, luckily, doesn't spin out, and Bank 6 is the only loser in that situation. And now he's got to get himself back on track as everyone's able to pass him. The AT sets a 2:03.4 in for the fastest lap. And here we go, Samim and Lucas Giles trying to go side by side there. And Samim sticking it down the inside into turn 1. Might be able to catch up a little bit with Elo, but Lucas Giles with the switchback gets Samim, and he has to stay behind again. But now Lucas Giles is losing a bit more out to Elo, and Elo might be able to pull his gap down Radion to go up A Rouge now. And here we go. Lucas Giles obviously does get a lot better turn in there, and Rowe gets a 3-second penalty for corner cutting, blatant corner cutting. And now, here we go then, Lucas Giles is unable to gain as much, and here we go, Samim down the inside of Lucas Giles, won't get as much downforce, and Lucas Giles will try to keep the position, and I'm pretty sure he's boxed in a bit by Elo, and that allows Samim to take P2 off Elo. Elo's had a terrible exit there, and Lucas Giles now challenging to take P2 or P3 off Elo, and now Elo's trying to challenge Samim for P2, but drops down into P4. That brings Queen Donut into the equation, and is now on the rear of Elo, and Lucas Giles, in a swift turn of events, goes from P4 to P2, and Samim manages to work his way up into P3. And once again, AT, 6 seconds is the gap now. AT is absolutely unstoppable on the track. He definitely needs some sort of safety car to help him readjust himself onto the, or to help any of his competitors catch up to him. And T-Dex Sponge gets a 3-second penalty for multiple ones. Dodge Demon gets overtook by Orpa, but Orpa with the better exit is going to charge it down the inside and gets the move done. And oh my days, Luca round the outside as well. 3 wide into there. Luca manages to be the maximum of all of them. And Orpa nearly spins off the track. Dodge Demon has to run wide onto the gravel track, and that's allowed Orpa to get back at him. And Orpa is going to try and go around the outside and get the move done. He's going to get forced off. Well, he's not going to get forced off track, but he's going to run off the track. He runs out of road there and is now running down in P10. Definitely nobody wanted. Now Samim going to go for the move on Lucas round the outside. Then he gets a full corner for head into the corner, but Lucas Giles is able to brake so much later. He might have outbroke himself there because Samim is going to be able to... Oh no, he runs off track as well. As Lucas Giles is going to have to stay behind Samim, as they both had terrible exits in different corners there then. And now Elo going side by side with Queen Stone Age. He definitely lost out quite a bit since the first couple of laps and is now running in P5 side by side with Stone Age. And there we go. Gets the move done, but he's crucially already out of the second to Lucas Giles. This definitely shows he's losing a lot of time in this battle here. And now Queen Stone Age will try to get a better exit, but I don't think he has got it. And now Elo is just able to pull away and be able to gain a bit more on Lucas Giles with that more straight line speed. And wow. Samim gaining time on 18 now. He's been pulled out of the battle a little bit, and that's going to allow him to pull away and regain the time which he desperately wants. So desperately wants. And there we go. We can have a look at the last lap. Samim lost out nearly a second to 80 on that last lap, but as we see them both cross the finisher, well, cross the start finish straight, they will both get the moves done. And Banksix retires in the pit lane, which obviously the new rule states you cannot do that. We'll see him get a 20 place grid penalty for round 3 then. And Lucas Giles, once again, just able to get so much more on Samim in those corners, but Samim is just able to gain that little bit extra, or quite a bit extra, on the straight line, and it seems to be working out quite a bit for him. And Dragonfly gets a 3-second time penalty as he's working his way back up the field to make up for what happened in qualifying. Here we go then. For Lucas Giles gets a purple sector 2, obviously where your downforce is needed the most. As they're both charging to regain on 18, Air Rolo spins out and he's out of the session. Let's see, is it on the race line? There's going to be a safety car to come out onto the track then. And let's see what happened to Rolo. Looks like he must have spun out on the exit there, and that'll see him out of the race. And 18 now is going to have every single person on the track catch up to him. And T-Dax Sponge gets a 3-second, not a 3-second penalty, a drive-through penalty. And Lucas Giles into the pit lane. Let's see what he's going to go on. Surely it's going to be some fresh wet. Oh, it's the intermediate tyres. Is it? No, it is the fresh wet. Sorry, that's my bad. And hopefully those take into the end. But as the weather forecast suggests, that rain will be easing up in around 10 minutes time. So it's definitely a bit of an ambitious move for Lucas Giles, as that sees him drop down into P10. Maybe even P11. No, P10. Oh no, it's actually going to be P9. He's going to get out just ahead of Orpa. And the box says he would change on the inners now. And we know the box is the king of strategy in the league. He also suggests boxing onto hard compound tyres. That could also work. Let's get a hairdryer on the track. And now, let's actually have a look at the last laps then. For these two. So Samir actually was gaining on him on that lap, which is quite significant. But now, Samim, if he is the faster car, he will be able to put the challenge to AT. But all of AT's hard work now is done. And it is for nothing. It has kept him in P1. But anyone can challenge for that now. Once the safety car does come into the pit lane. Omega serving a 5-second time penalty. Before he gets intermediate tyres on. Okay, that's an interesting strategy. Okay, so Omega going for a different strategy to the rest of the pack. And he will have to do that if he is running in last. And then the box says, come on, Herpes, change to inters. The whole pack right now is sandwiched by the McLarens. One in P1 and one in P16. But interesting to note how T-Dax Sponge did in fact get that drive-through penalty. that will first be questioned after the race, and I don't think it's the first time he has got a drive-through penalty under the BSC in this league. Yeah, definitely so far you can see driving standard has definitely improved since the last race, but still efforts need to be taken to ensure we have the best quality racing as possible. And oh, Lucas Giles gets a prime side in time for some vehicle collision with Orpa. As Orpa just destroys the 150-meter board there. I'm not too sure what happened between them, but it must have been pretty big to see him off the track. Anyways, have a look at the weather once again. So, in 5 minutes' time, this weather should be easing up and it will be time to go onto the intermediate tyres. So, AT might want to extend that lead once again. He'll be definitely looking to do that. So here we go. The safety car should be coming in at the end of this lap. That is if Orpa onto the fresh wet. If Impulsive and Orpa can both catch up in time. But Impulsive will definitely be looking to stick this one out then, because he's very far behind and those inters will not be working for him just yet. And Impulsive, actually gaining quite a bit of time, but you're going to remember going through those corners. Under safety car will lose you so much time. Rolo, in my opinion, what I would normally do is if it is going to rain in the race, then apply the wet setup, and then only the parts which you can change under park permit, I would just change them to the dry bit, and then run as it would be under the wets. Probably is the tactical move to do. Here we go now. Orpa, over a 3-second time penalty for these wet conditions. And Samim closer and closer. He wants that position, and the last person to be able to catch up here will be Impulsive, and surprisingly is managing to stick it out on those inters so far. Just keeping it nice and tidy. And he gets a 3-second time penalty for collision with Bays. I'm not too sure what happened there. I'm not too sure how he collided to someone who is much further ahead of him. The safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap then. All eyes will be on Impulsive, and let's see how he does with these tyres on. It'll be the deciding factor. But whether people do go onto the ins, he's definitely taking it a bit more cautious than the Wetwood around here. And we're going to cut to 18 now, with getting the pack prepared for the restart of this race. And here we go. All eyes on AT. He managed to extend his gap to 6 seconds before. Will he be able to do the same again? Or will Samim challenge him into turn 1? Here we go then. AT on the throttle. Samim close behind. AT's pulling the weight very, very much. And definitely gets the better start to the restart. And Dragon already up into P10 over Freddy. And Orpa spins out on the main straight. That's going to drop him down to the back of the pack, apart from Impulsive, who is just rounding the final corner now. And here we go. AT already managed to extend his gap to over a second. This setup was definitely made for the wet. And Elo, now getting a better exit than Samim, is going to try challenge him, maybe to have Raddy on, and get the better straight line speed. Let's have a look then. For Elo, he definitely doesn't have as much straight line speed, but he will have that nice slipstream, which is going to keep him intact and keep him safe from Queenstone Age. Lucas Giles. Let's see Lucas Giles. Is he going to try fighting his way up through the field? And Orpa out of the session up A Rouge, but there will be no safety car for him because the safety car has just came in, and I'm kind of glad it doesn't come back out. And then here we go. Impulsive now actually going to have a massive advantage to the rest of the field when those intermediates come to life, because he will be able to get straight on to the back of everyone else. It obviously depends on when everyone pits. And Samim, interestingly enough, has gained a bit more time on AT, and now the battle could be on for first place. AT obviously challenging for the championship. He is going to probably expect nothing less or nothing more. But Samim is going to try to bring that battle to him. And AT is definitely a proven driver who does have great pace. And now Samim also gets a bit of a bad exit there, and that won't set him up the best. But let's have a look at the straight line speed then of these two drivers. AT and Samim are pretty matched when it comes to the straight line speed. AT is just coming out a little bit ahead, but obviously into the corner, I'm actually pretty sure Samim does have more straight line speed, and that is going to allow him to gain a bit more in the straight, especially with that slipstream. Be very vital. And AT sets a 2:01, which definitely shows that track is drying out. And here we go then, 15 minutes until the track completely dries out, and it's going to be ready for dry running at the end of this race. And now Samim is dropping out actually massively to AT. So the biggest gaining point for him will be in Sector 2 and Sector 3. And there you go. You can see he has dropped out 2 times in that last lap. Sector 2 is where he's going to gain the most time. So he's just going to be holding out here and seeing how much he can gain. He'll definitely be able to gain a lot more if he gained on him last lap here. And here we go into Sector 2 now for Samim. This is going to be what he wants. And there you go. You can already see he's making mass gains on AT. But definitely misjudged his corner there. And AT gets a moment. And that's going to allow Samim to maybe go side by side with him. He's going to stay behind. Oh no, he's going to go for the late lunge. And it's going to get the move done to AT. But AT down the inside manages to challenge it. But Samim off the track has to sit behind AT. And AT manages to defend that position beautifully. And did not expect that last second dive, which neither did we. But has definitely meant Samim gets a lot closer. But AT is going to be counting as lucky stars right now that exit did not cost him the lead of the race. And Rolo leaves the session, which is fair enough, he did DNF. But now for Samim, challenging, gets a bit slightly on the exit there, but obviously making corrections in the rain is nothing new. And T-Dash Sponge, challenging position of Impulsive, and Impulsive now on the inters gets the move done on him. This could be the good warning sign that it is time for those intermediate tyres, and he runs a bit off the curb there, and that's going to lose him out to T-Dash, who might be looking to challenge him for the position, and he cannot. Now Samim, once again, runs a bit wide there, but is ever more closer to AT, and AT must have had another moment, because now he's going to be able to challenge for that P1 soon, and Lucas Charles has to drop off, lift off the throttle a bit there to dodge him, but will he go down the inside? Is he going to go for the move? He's going to stay behind, and he probably has to there, or else he would maybe spin out, or maybe hit into the back of him at all. Dodge Demon dives into the pit then. Let's see what he gets on then for the Aston Martin driver. Had a decent race so far. Let's hope he can carry it on for the rest of this race. But for Dodge Demon, it's going to come into the pit lane. He's going to get a fresh wing on as well. It is going to be the intermediate tyres for Dodge Demon. He's going to try them out. He definitely sees that Impulsive has got a bit of luck on them, or maybe a bit better on them now. And Dragonfly is also diving into the pit lane. It's going to get the inters on. Same with T-Dash Sponge, who is also coming into the pit lane as well. But they definitely know it is time for those intermediate tyres. And the other drivers who may not be pitting might be holding out for either another safety car or for the dry tyres, which will be available fairly soon according to the weather. 15 minutes. It will all just be about how much the inters can gain on the wet, and it will be pretty significant if the track is drying out. So they might actually be looking to pit, but they might just be looking for the perfect opportunity to do so. And now Luca gaining on Owen in the AlphaTauri. Going to be looking to... Luke gets a reset time penalty there. That you could see that coming from a mile away. The second he went off that track, you knew that was going to be a warning. And he's going to have to be a bit more ambitious and go for the lunge if he wants to try to get that move done. He's a bit far back to do so at the moment. But you never know. We saw what happened with Samim and AT trying to catch the driver off guard, especially in these wet conditions. It's going to be a lot harder to correct yourself. And it's going to be a lot harder to prepare for that. Oh no! Stone Age and Luca both spin out. Luca loses his end plate and Stone Age doesn't lose anything. But Luca must have been a bit influenced from the Red Bull driver then for that to happen. And no, that's horrible for both of the races. Now they're going to be caught up by the people who are going on to the inter tyres. Fan in sympathy. That is what the box is saying. AT set a 2 minute 0.6. Not into the 1 minute, Jay. Could be 1 minute for AT soon. And Samim comes into pit lane. Here we go then. What's he going to put on it? It's going to be the intermediate tyres for Samim. And now he's going to try to catch out his competitor of AT. He doesn't think those tyres will be lasting much longer. and those slicks will be the optimum tire. And there you go, you see Quinton Edge also diving into pit lane, and you can see the track is drying up a little bit, though that rain has definitely eased off. And now we're going to see what the time gain is from Samim to AT, but Samim already out of the pit lane. He's definitely going to get him with the pit stop. He's going to get the massive overcut here, or undercut, and it's going to work out for him definitely, unless he spins out. Good point made from Steve Daisy there. But here we go for Samim, finishing off sector 1. Possibly could be even faster than what the wet time was, considering how short the pit line is, and also how much better those inters will be on the optimum track. Anyways, for Samim now, he's going to be challenging Skirl on those wet. You can see he's getting in temps a corner, not even temps, maybe around 3 temps, nearly like quarter of a second per corner. And you can see Skirl struggling on those wets. Is going to be wishing he had pitted a bit sooner. He's going to try, he might try hold it out to the softs or the slick tires, but I don't think that will be a possibility for him. And here goes Skulls, gained over 1 second in this corner, in this sector, and he's going to go down the inside of Skulls. Skulls going to try to fight it, but ultimately Samim is just going to be able to get on his, get straight past there, and will be unable to challenge it whatsoever. Those inters just seem to be on fire at the moment. And now AT, let's see what AT does. Will he dive into the pit lane as well, or will he be staying out? He might know that the only way to get any sort of move on Samim is to stay out, but no, he comes into the pit lane, and let's see what he puts on. Surely it is the inters, and oh, that was very close to a 5-second time penalty there, automatically from the game. And Elo also comes into the pit lane. They are both going to get on their inters, and Owen, interestingly, doesn't come out of the pit lane, and Samim, already down the main straight, has already gained so much on the McLaren driver and the Alpine driver, and AT isn't even out of the pit lane yet, and Samim is rounding turn 1. It's going to be pretty close coming out of the pit, and they're going to be nearly side by side. AT's managed to keep the lead somehow, but Samim already got the straight line speed, will be able to challenge him up Radion, and he does have more straight line speed, you've got to remember that, and it might take a little second for AT to get those tyres up to temperature. And now for Samim, he's going to try and go down the inside, but AT blocking the middle of the track. Oh no, he goes into him, he pulls out of the ghost though, and now he's going to try and go down the inside, and it's going to have to stay behind. He's going to try and go for the switchback though and keep it around the outside. No, AT gets a moment there, and that's going to allow Samim to get straight past, and AT has lost the position to Samim. And now Samim will be challenging for that P1 momentarily, and Owen is struggling so much on those wets. He has no grip whatsoever, and now is going to easily be overtaken by Samim, but that could be beneficial to AT, because AT is already dropping lots of time out. And Lucas Giles and Omega fighting for the position then, and Omega down the inside is going to try to get the move on Lucas Giles, but Lucas Giles onto the curb and a bit onto the grass, gets the move done, and that is unfortunate for Omega, who runs a bit wide there. And AT now going to try and go down the outside of Owen. It's been held up significantly here, so much to the point where he's already dropped out of a second, and this is going to be so good for SME's race. And oh, look, he touches him, and now AT gets past him, but he's lost quite a bit of time to Samim, nearly a second being stuck behind Owen there. And Skirl is challenging for the podium positions, but he is on those wet tyres, and Elo, only 2 seconds off him, is already going to be challenging for that P3 or P4. But surely these two come into the pit lane now. There we go. Owen is coming into the pit lane. The Skirl going to be coming in the pit lane, and he's going to stay out. Owen is staying out. He thinks the track's going to dry out soon then, and he will hope it does, because Elo has already gained 3 tenths, and he must have had a little moment there because he's gained a little bit less. But he is in his sights now, and Skirl has got to commit to this now, surely. There's no going back for him. Dodge Demon now going to be challenging Omega, who, you've got to remember, was running last by over 20 seconds before the safety car, and is now up into P6, P7 even, because Owen comes out just a bit ahead of him. Oh no, it is actually going to be P7 or P6 for Omega, and Dodge Demon's going to challenge straight past him, and Owen coming out into that battle for P6 then. But Owen was running in the podium positions before that, and definitely could have been running a bit higher up had he pitted a bit earlier. But now Dodge Demon going to be challenging Impulsive. Impulsive could be your candidate for driver of the day. Remember, you can vote for that at raceunited.net/vote. So far, it is an interesting one, and it could be anyone's race, as Samim and AT both get drive there, not drive through, 3-second time penalties. And here we go then for Dodge Demon. Going to go down the inside of Impulsive, gets a better exit. And here we go then. Has definitely the better line in the wet conditions and is going to get the move done on Omega and cannot do anything to stop that. And Owen now might actually be able to get the move done on the McLaren driver as well. He's going to sit behind, but he might be lining up for an opportunity soon. And Samim has already pulled 2 seconds on AT. AT has dropped out so much so far, and being held up definitely didn't help him whatsoever. It was only a 3/10 loss on this lap so far, but it could all be to gain in this final corner. The Skrull still on those wet tyres, 10 seconds off of Lucas Giles. He'll be hunting him down, and we'll be looking for that position. Owen and Impulsive side by side. Oh, Impulsive gets through on the barrier there, and is very lucky to not smash straight into that. And very, very happy he will be for that. And AT gets a 158.0. Finally into the 150s. And Skrull finally comes into the pit lane then. Let's see how much he loses out. Lucas Giles is 10 seconds behind. And I'm pretty sure he's going to come out in P9. Or P8 even. And here we go then for the Haas driver. Surely it's the Inters. Tumbling down the pit lane. Tumbling down the order as well. Just going to get those intermediate tyres on. It's a slow stop for Skrull. It's, oh, no, he's getting a fresh ring on as well, which means he must have had an incident with the barrier. And here we go then for Skrull. Exiting the pit lane now. We race as one. And now Skrull exiting the pit lane. He's going to come out just behind with Dragonfly there. And we'll be out in P9, just ahead of his teammate Blaze. Interesting to note though. Oh, Freddy runs a bit wide there. We've just gone straight onto that on board. As Queen Stone Age also spins out. And what is he doing? Queen Stone Age is going back onto the track, but definitely stood there a bit longer than he had to. And here we go then for Queen Stone Age. It's just letting the tyres go down maybe, and he's going to come into the pit lane. Oh, he did lose his wing, which means he might be coming for the fresh wing on there. Did he get a puncture? Is that why he was going so slow? We cannot see for some reason. Oh, I don't think he got a puncture. He just had that wing. There we go then. He's going to get that new wing on, and the old wing gets took off, and he's going to get the fresh inters on, which is going to solve his tyre temperature problem then. As Samim sets a fastest lap of a 1:57.7. And AT has dropped 4 times since he got held up by the AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri definitely played into the hands of the Alfa Romeo right now, who's going to extend his lead in the championship by quite a bit compared to P2. If he can keep this up then. And AT has actually managed to gain quite a bit in that first sector so far. 5 times. I mean, Samim must have had a little moment there. But here we go then for AT. Let's see how much he can gain in the final part of the sector and ready on. And oh, we lose about on straight line speed, but it is going to be a purple sector 1 for him. And they are now coming to lap the AlphaTauri driver of T-Dax Sponge. And here we go then. Interestingly, doesn't get out of the way, but he is ghosted, so that doesn't really matter. T-Dax Sponge still out on those wet tyres. Pretty sure he's the only driver, apart from Rove, we're still out on those wets, and I don't think any of those have a reason to stay on the wet because they are not running in the points. They are quite far from. Dragonfly spins going up at Rouge and is going to drop him down to P10 and possibly P11 if Luca, who gets another 3-second time penalty, can do anything to stop it. And here we go then. Luca around the outside is going to get the move done straight on Dragonfly. And apparently, Samim going to the box. The box is our technical director. Or not technical director, our technical expert. Our racing expert. Alongside us in the chat today. Is got the best setup for the drying track. Which is interesting to know. He must have predicted this was going to happen then. The forecast would have said it was going to be drying out throughout the race. But obviously we don't know that as a spectator. Which I think is kind of shan. But the rain is going to be here to stay for another 10 minutes. Or possibly just under that. And AT sets the fastest lap. Just ahead of Samim. And T-Dax Sponge gets another 5-second time penalty for cutting the corner. Looks like Queen's no need to just get straight past him, but T-Dax Sponge still on those wet compound tyres, and he tries to go down the inside into turn 1 on Queen, and sees himself in the barrier. That is a very, very, not ambitious, very dangerous move there, and very, should not be done. Should not be done whatsoever. As Dragonfly spins out once again, and he was in the points just a lap ago, and is now running in P12. But definitely so far the race might possibly have been over now if it was in the dry conditions. And Samim is sort of just teetering on his times here. As AT is definitely gaining in some corners, and Samim is gaining in the others. I really wish we could see some track domination here. But for now, we're going to have to stick to the trusty old last lap, which will only work on the behind. There we go. So AT did gain 2 tenths on that last lap. But so far, I think Samim's managed to pull a little bit of a gap. But AT definitely bringing the challenge to Samim. Dragonfly's tyres are hot. They will definitely be hot after a spin, especially in the wet. It'll take a bit more time to cool down. Unless he can run over some puddles. Bring some nice moisture onto the track. Sort of see a dry line starting to form a little bit, but where the tracks are frequently going over as that light ever more simmers out. And the pack is definitely spread out quite a bit now, and there is less of a battle between any driver at the moment on track. There's a nice even gap between them all. On this nice wet day in Belgium, Jackcraft, it is very nice. And Samim sets the fast lap of 156.1 unchallenged by AT. And there you go, you can see he's gained quite a bit in that final sector. And AT loses out 2 attempts to the Alfa Romeo driver on that last lap. T-Dax Sponge, the only driver now who is still on those wet compound tyres, is still not going into the pit lane with 6 laps left to go. You've got to question, if those dry tyres come into play, will it be worth it? Because there's only 6 laps left of the race. We'll see a lot less than what you'd normally see, but you've got to remember, this race is probably going to equal around the same time as what any other race would be like. And the meme nearly running a bit out there. Oh no, AT gets a very big moment there. You could see that in the background of Samim's broadcast shot there, and that's lost him around 2 seconds to Samim, and that is sealed Samim's victory once more. We still have 6 laps to drive. Anything can happen. You can see such an easy mistake made by AT could happen for Samim as well. And there you go. You can sort of see the penalties there. So I'm pretty sure Dodge Seaman might drop out the point. No, get very little point with those 12-second time penalties. At this moment, it definitely looks like it will be inters till the finish line for everyone at the moment, and all the gaps now are over 2 seconds long, which is very nice. 5 minutes until the end of this ring, which means when the track dries out, and if it dries out very quickly, it will be softs for 3 laps to finish us off, which could make the difference. If the track is very dry, I would say the difference in pitting onto inters compared to fresh soft will be around 2 or 3 seconds, and that 2 or 3 seconds will 9 seconds for an 18-second pit stop will not be worth it. Samim sets another fastest lap. This track is definitely drying out, and those tyres are getting better as the fuel load also decreases. As AT definitely doesn't get set the fastest lap because he lost out quite a bit on that last lap due to that moment he had. If it dries up during or before lap 20, they'll want to box for slicks. There we go. That's our technical expert, the box, giving us those tips. Always appreciate it when the boxes are around. Tell us how things are done then. But AT, interestingly, gains around 6 attempts in that first sector, and it will be a purple sector 1 for AT. They are both battling for this last fastest lap point. Here we go. AT in sector 2 has already lost 2 attempts to Samim, the man himself. And Samim so far has absolutely dominated this season. But we can't forget AT's amazing efforts in the first part of this race, where he gained over 6 seconds on those on the wet compound tires. Box equals engineer should retire from tier 1. I would love the box to be my engineer. It'd be like proper expert stuff in AT. Having a little bit of a moment with the curb there. Almost looks like he lost it if he didn't lift off the throttle there. That could have been him. Capished. As T-Dax Sponge getting lap once again, still on those wet compound tyres. This will probably be down for one of the longest stints we have seen in the race. And lucky for him, has not disqualified. Which did happen in round 1. But we've had 2 wet races so far, or maybe a wet sprint in Brazil and a wet race in Spa, but this is probably one of the only rounds where this is the only round in entire Racers United F122 that has been rain in the main race. As Dragon Tires gets a better exit than Freddy there, they are fighting for P11, but could easily be P10 if someone does retire in the final 4 laps of this race. As now he's chasing Freddy for 11th. Dodge Demon gets another 3-second time penalty. Let's do some calculations here then. Let's go to leader. 15 seconds will see him at 51. That'll drop him down into P8 or P7. Now, you see AT sort of just keeping the gap, keeping it nice and consistent. But it won't be enough. If he does want to win this race, he might have to go for something fairly special if this track does dry up within the next 2 laps. As the box said, they will want to pit if it does dry up in the next 2 laps, and it looks like it will be drying up within the next 2 or 3 minutes. That will be the end of the rain, but it won't be a dry track just yet. Obviously, some tracks dry out a lot quicker than others, and that will be down to the track temperature. As AT runs a bit wide there, that'll be a one for him. Jolene, you might want to hold off just a little bit, but these two create an immense gap of over 18 seconds from P1 to P3. So they have absolutely nothing to worry about. They could probably spin and still end up in P1 or P2. Yeah, actually, it could be. Samim could have a big moment and still maintain P1, but he would be challenged by AT, who has dropped 7 times in this lap then, and the track is definitely drying up more and more now, because, as the box said, Samim is getting ready for those dry conditions. And we have not seen one bit of DRS so far in the race. And Samim sets a 154.4, over 10 seconds faster than what it was at the start of this race then, for him. And here we go then once again, AT dropping time now to Samim, and Samim is going to be getting those celebrations ready as he only has 3 laps left to manoeuvre before he can take victory for the 2nd time in Racers United Tier 2. The domination will continue for him, as it has been for the box in Tier 1. Samim is like the box in the Alfa Romeo. Johnny, if the box was not in the league, let's say that. AT, he definitely has the okay, the track, the rain has stopped. He could pit at the end of this lap if the track dries out in time. But AT, interestingly, will be able to take the fastest lap. He will be able to risk that and go into the pit lane. And he will probably keep P2 or challenge for it on the last 2 laps. But now this is all in AT's hand. AT can play however he wants here. But we can all see now the track has officially stopped raining and the overcast conditions have begun. Let's see what AT does then. He has one opportunity to get this fastest lap, and if he can keep pulling the gap like he is right now to Elo, it will be no loss or no... Actually, he'll only have everything to gain and nothing to lose. Let's see, we go then. AT is just rounding Sector 3 now. We're going to see his decision then. But you can definitely see that track is drying up. We're going to see who is going to pit onto those soft compound tyres. Who's going to risk it? Who's going to be the one to take the gamble and try to get that fastest lap? Definitely pitting onto those soft, unless you spin, is a guaranteed fastest lap. And AT will stay out on this lap then. It's a bit too early for him. But the Skrull potentially could finish his lap and come into the pit lane. Luca also has the possibility to go into the pit lane at the end of his lap and go onto the soft. But at the moment, the track does look a bit greasy and look a bit wet still. So I don't think he will be able to pull off any pit stops at the end of this lap. Maybe the end of next lap, though. It could be all to play for. And there we go. Skrull gets a nice little switchback on Omega and takes P7 off of him. But he will get P7 with the time penalty that Skrull has if he manages to keep the gap. But here we go then. There's a car that's just chugging the water off the track. There's no more water to be laid on. And that track temperature will be increasing and the track will be drying out significantly. Nobody has decided to go into the pit lane just yet. But let's see if anyone decides to in the coming moments. Nobody yet has gambled. Luca could be able to. 8 seconds might be the difference between going onto a dry track and a wet track. You can definitely see dry patches starting to form. And no, he stays out. This stays out. The last person who could possibly get that pit stop in would be Freddy. And he is 20 seconds off of P10, which means could be the difference. And he runs a bit wide there. But those tyres will be starting to fall out to the soft momentarily. But it could be a wet finish still. And Freddy doesn't pit. Dragonfly doesn't pit. Rove could come into the pit lane, but he is lapped now. Which means we can cut back up to P1. As Samim sets another fastest lap. And AT managed to pull the perfect gap there. And it's all up to AT. AT could pit if he wanted to. And potentially have no loss whatsoever. But the track, however, still does look greasy. Remember, you can vote for your driver today. RaceUnited.net/vote. Vote for who you think has done the best today. AT's definitely showed a great showing on his debut. And could be your contender. And T-Dash Punch comes into the pit lane then. What's it going to be for him? It's going to be fresh wets. I'm sorry, what? It is fresh wets for T-Dax Sponge. He is pitted onto the wet tyres when the track is about to be dry. But yeah, I don't think pitting onto the dries is the right call, but pitting onto the inters would have definitely been the call to make. And here we go then for Rove. Let's see what Rove goes on to. He could make the difference. He has gone onto the soft tyres. Got the 5-second time penalty to wait out. And Lucas Giles also comes in the pit lane. It's going to be soft tyres for him as well. You can see the team bringing them out. He thinks he'll be able to gain the time back on Dodge Demon. But there you can see the dry patches are starting to form. I don't think it's ready for the dries just yet though. But here we go. We'll see as Rove comes out of the pit lane. Let's see if he has any moments leaving. And it's going to be the dries for the Red Bull and the Williams. Here we go then. Up Air Rouge. Will he spin? Oh, he does get a bit slidey. And you can definitely tell those tyres are not at the optimum range yet. And Lucas Giles might have lost out crucial points there to Dodge Demon. But Dodge Demon, you've got to remember, does have all those time penalties, which means Lucas Giles will probably still get the run on him. And here we go then for Lucas Giles. Will he be able to get the fastest lap on the next lap? Will the track dry out in the matter of one lap? This is all the questions which are being asked. And there you go, you can see in Sector 3 and the end of Sector 2, the track is fairly dry. And definitely those dry tyres are going to be the better option from the last lap. And here we go then, Samim's going to be starting the final lap of this race. And the fastest lap will probably not be his, but he'll definitely get the fastest lap here then. And will AT come into the pit lane? I don't think he will. AT is going to stay out on the inters. And Freddy retires from the session going up Air Rouge. Or not Air Rouge. He does hit the barrier, and that will see him out on the last lap of this race then. As Samim is going to pass him. Let's see what happened to him then. It is on the racing line, which won't bring out a safety car because it is the last lap of the race. But let's have a look. Lucas Giles, who is finishing off his second... his penultimate lap. And here we go then for Samim. Gonna finish off Sector 1. Will it be purple for him? It is going to be purple, but that'll instantly be took away by any soft runner whatsoever, surely. Let's even go 3 second more penalties. Let's have a look then. For the gap. 6 seconds. Oh, Samim does have 3 seconds more on penalties, which means AT could close the gap. It's 5 temps. It will be pretty ambitious. But AT has to get it perfect. Remember, he does have a couple of ones. And Quiz Donage sets 152.9 on his outlap on those softs. So you can definitely tell it is much faster than those intermediate tyres. But here we go then. For Samim, he's going to run a bit wide there and he doesn't get a penalty. This could come down to the wire. It could come down to the last moment. You can see he is a bit slidey. AT just has to perfect this then. And if he makes any mistake, it will be over for him. It is 5 temps. He does have to gain 5 temps, and he could win his debut race in Tier 2 in his first race in Racers United. And Skirl and Owen both fighting for position. DRS hasn't been enabled. It hasn't been enabled yet, which probably won't get enabled until the end of the race, which will basically just not happen whatsoever. But for Samim, he's going to finish Sector 3 then. He's going to get himself ready for the bus-stop chicane. He's had a fight through the field like the box did in Silverstone. on the wet. He was 6 seconds off the lead. The safety car definitely helped out quite a bit, but he's going to round the final corner. And the gap will be tied, but he's going to win the Belgian Grand Prix. He is weaving there, and that could actually help AT. And AT is going to be 3 tenths off of him, and will take P2. Let's have a look then. It's Lucas Giles. We're going to watch him finish his lap as he finishes Sector 2 in just a moment's time. We're going to go on to the lap time for him, and let's see how he compares in Sector 2 then. And he's going to come up on the Dodge Demon, the Aston Martin Dodge Demon. That'll definitely hold him up quite a bit. He doesn't want to lose out to him, but he does have the time penalties, which means he will. Here we go then for Lucas Giles. He's just going to be left past by Dodge Demon. He's 1.2 seconds faster than AT in Sector 2. And here we go then for Lucas Giles. Going through Sector 2 now. Is going to... he does get purple Sector 1. He was an improvement on his Sector 1 time, and it wasn't purple. But here we go then. For Lucas Giles, the DRS gets enabled in the final part of this lap. Going through the bus stop chicane. Going to round the final corner. And it's going to be P4 for Lucas Giles. And it will also be the fastest lap of the race. I'll give him an extra point, and it worked out perfectly for him in the end then. And now Skirl and Owen both fighting for the position at the last corner. Owen and Skirl both get past Dodge Demon, who has lots of penalties. And Impulsive of Omega could get the run on him, and he does. P8 has dropped down, and he drops down to P9 actually. Luca, will he get the run on him as well? It could be fairly possible. But on those soft combat tires, will he get a faster lap than Lucas Giles? As he rounds the final corner, he's going to cross the finish line, and he will get the faster lap, and that takes a point off of Lucas Giles, and that'll be 2 points for Luca then. And Dragonflies on the Inters will probably not set the fastest lap, but it is his first race in the league. Definitely not when his way does finish without a win. But wow, what a race that was then for the Tier 2 Paddock. And he's going to weave to cross the finish line. It's going to be P11 for him. Just narrowly misses out on the points. What a race that was. Yeah, the box. You are right. The celebration nearly did blow up in his face. And Dodge Demon gets the game's driver of the day. But who got your driver of the day? We will put the graphic on in a second for you. But we'll let it do its thing now. There we go. Samim for the second time in Tier 2 will take the top step of the podium and will win the Belgian Grand Prix. AT sitting up there in P2, his best position in Racers United so far. He'll definitely be looking out for a win in the future. He is a promising driver with promising talent. Maybe Tier 2 was the move he was looking for. And as well, it was right. Well done to everyone in the race today. Can't forget the P3 of Luca. No, it wasn't Luca. It was... Sorry. Yeah. Let me get it up. P3 did go the way of Elo today. Good stuff from Elo. His first drive in Racers United, and it is ridden again as the grid gets back to it. And we're just going to get all the penalties. There we go. Alright. And there you go. You can see the tyres. Only 4 people went into the softs in the end. And Luca slashes that fastest lap off of Lucas Giles. And that'd be crucial in the championship. That extra point will help out his team quite a bit. Alpine, who are in the constructors battle at the moment with each other. And now we're going to cut down to the cooldown room. And we're going to see the top 3 give their thoughts on the race. Just give me one moment. I need to get. Here we go. Okay, here we go.
Hello, hello.
One second, I'm just getting the Alfa Romeo in. You can start talking, by the way. I'll go on mute.
Yeah. Like, no way that it doesn't stay wet the entire race. Hello? Oh well. I suppose that we can say that this was like kind of the dealt up. Like we had me and the Alpha, and then we had you guys. Like in groups.
talk, by the way.
Yeah, well, we know, but what should we talk about?
The race, just no talk about what you like.
No, it had to have been here. 1 millimeter.
Well, AT, you were. You know what? I'll be the third driver because Samim can't make. He's got to go. So, Samim, you were running 6 seconds ahead of everyone else, and then that safety car came out. That just messed you up so much.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, that messed you
Yeah,
up.
like could the race just not like stay wet like for its entirety? Like I was so quick.
Yeah, we should set up like link to wet. Was it like
Yeah,
made for wet?
my setup is a time trial setup from dry from like 5 months ago, I think.
Well, do you know at the end there that was really tight because I don't think if Samim had just kept on that weaving and you got a really good exit and you gained like 3 times, if you just kept on him on that final lap and he weaved at the end of that celebration from him would have just backfired so much.
Yeah, but I actually think that if I am lucky, because I think I got a double warning. I have to check.
You got double warning.
Yeah.
And did you get any ones after that? That actually could get you the win of the race, you know.
Yeah, I didn't get any after that. I only have 6 warnings.
Oh, okay. So for you, AT, that could be the win of the race. You might have to submit that to the stewards. Just submit a verdict appeal to the stewards.
Yeah, but that depends. If I lose control of my car, and I go off track and I lose time, but still get a warning, does that count?
Any warnings given by the game is counted, or else I would take 10 years to get rid of any warnings.
Anyone given by the game?
Any warning given by the game, unless it's a double warning? Yeah.
Okay.
I've been given the time penalty because the car just snapped on me, so...
Yeah, exactly.
But it's on me, I should control the car, so...
Yeah. But you know what like Jake says, that's where like I disagree a bit.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
I
because
get it.
yeah, because like
it is frustrating, yeah.
Yeah, because if I go off, let's take mine for example. I lost the car mid or rouge, like up the hill. I lost it mid corner. I have to save it, go off track, and lose 5/10 to the car ahead, and I still get a warning. That's mostly what is frustrating. But I'm just checking everything through.
Okay, right, we're gonna go to the interviews now. Not the stream on boards. That was meant to actually be a thing which we could do, but it turns out it was just severely bad. Or if you remember to vote for your driver today, originalite.net/vote. Let's see who we're gonna bring in here. I'm gonna bring Dodge Demon first. I'm gonna talk about his penalties and how that affected his race position. Hello, with the Dodge Demon. Hello. Oh, Dodge Demon's gone. Okay. I guess that's it for the Aston Martin. Let's bring in Skirl. Skirl finished in P5 from P12. We'll talk about his race with him then. Let's go. Hello. Sorry to interrupt your talk with your teammate. But P5 finish, that's a great finishing position from you. You started on the grid in P12 and you gained 7 positions. That is pretty impressive.
Well, thank you very much.
So what's your thoughts on the race then today?
So I think my biggest problem was actually within the qualifying. I didn't keep a tab on the timing, so I didn't set a proper hot lap, which catapulted me to P12, which was better than expected with the time that I set. Anyhow, the race start was, as usually, a little chaotic. Nothing too bad, though. I shot a little wide and got my first warning right out of the first corner, which also eventually got me my 3-second time penalty in. But I had some really good fights in the couple of ending laps. I believe it was with the McLaren, who was right behind me, the only one without penalties, and he was like 2.5 seconds behind me. I was just pushing for it. especially with the weather clearing up. But it was a great race. And
Yeah.
thanks to everyone
You
who
had
was able to
some-
race cleanly today.
Yeah, it was definitely an improvement on what we saw in Brazil last time out. And hopefully we can build on top of that. What do you think of the next race at Singapore?
I'm not too familiar with the circuit. I will make myself more familiar with it over the course of the week, of course. And then I guess I will see what I can do there, because I like to have a clean race, and usually that's where I can also gain a lot of places. That was the case in Brazil until I spun, which obviously didn't happen today, which is why I made it so far. And I guess that's my winning recipe. Just drive clean, avoid penalties, and avoid collisions.
Yeah. So, some good points for your team today, and hopefully you can bring the battle in the constructors. It's early days in the championship, so it is all to play for still.
That will be a good thing to strive for, yes.
Right, we'll see you next week then. Have a good weekend.
Alrighty,
Have a good
thank
week.
you.
Have a good week.
Likewise.
Thank you. That was the Haas driver of Skull. Finished in P5 today. Great drive from him. Where's Omega? Did Omega finish the race? Where is Omega? Omega finished in P7. No penalties from him. Kept it very clean. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull him in chill, and then I got pinged, which means there we go. Okay, pull him in chill, and then pull him in commentator room. Hello, Omega. Hello. Hello. Omega. Is Omega here? I don't think Omega's here. Okay. Sorry then. We'll have to pull Omega out. Anyone else in their BCs looking for? Bring in Rob. We'll bring him Rob. Have to bring him up through the ranks, so we're going to bring up the Alphatara chat, then up to the Mercedes chat, and then we get him into the commentators room. Hello, Rob.
What's up?
So obviously not the best race from you. Finished in P13, you got lapped, and no points for Williams this weekend. You scored 1 point last time out. What's your thoughts on the race then?
I mean, the race is pretty crap, I'm not gonna lie. It was pouring it down. I couldn't control my car very well. Some people, Queens of the Stone Age, think that I ran them off the track when they drove in front of me. But hey, what can you do? It was a fun racing experience.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully next time out in Singapore, which is also a track known for its rain, Tier 2 really isn't getting a break whatsoever, is it?
No.
But these are all tracks Tier 1 is yet to race at, and we'll be racing that coming soon. So what's your thoughts on Singapore? You familiar with the track?
Not really, no.
No, okay. Well, hopefully next week you get some points for Williams.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, I'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Okay, Omega rejoined the chill, so let's try get another McLaren interview. Hello, Omega, are you live? I don't think is Omega dead or alive? Omega. Okay. I think Omega's still gone. Well, we'll have the McLaren screen on though. We're gonna go to AT. Your P2, everyone, and could possibly be P1, depends on what happens post-race. So, AT, you obviously had to leave Tier 1 due to your times, but you've made a comfortable start in to Tier 2, and you've came in quite early, so the championship could still be yours.
Yeah, I mean, at least I like to think so. Regarding like the penalties and the win, it might be on the table. Of course, praying for the best, but
Would you consider Samim at this point to be one of your rivals? I mean, it's only been one race, and it definitely tested out your skills in the wet, and you managed to pull an extensive gap. In the interchanging conditions, Samim had the run on you, but definitely a great showing from you today.
yeah, judging by the pace he put on a show today, like he's definitely like the main rival, but I have to wait a few more races to see if this was like a one track, a one time thing he just pulled off. And yeah, you know, those 7 seconds before the safety car in the wet, I was so comfortable apparently compared to everyone else. I was really feeling myself, and then the inters came and I couldn't really find my footing until late lap 19.
If that safety car had never came out, I think you would be coming in here a race winner.
Yeah, I like to think so, but you know, I could have crashed or anything. Anything could happen.
Yeah, of course.
So too with like Samin, because I lost the car and I was just praying the last 10 laps that he would also do the same thing. And then he got those 9 seconds, those 9 seconds, and I was like, ooh, it's on.
Yeah.
But those 2.5 tenths really came down.
Yeah, bro. But I mean, you are going to be looking to try to get that race victory after the race, aren't you?
Most certainly am.
So we'll have to see how that goes. What are your thoughts on the Singapore track then? That is the next race on this calendar.
Well, I really enjoyed driving the track in last year's game. It was probably one of my favorites. I was insanely fast, but on this game I can't really like find out how or like what gears and that.
So definitely a bit of practice
So
to be made, but
yeah, I
you've
enjoy it.
proven before that you've got the pace around there.
Yep. If I can keep up my 21 pace there, I should be in for a comfortable win, I'd say.
That's good to hear. I hope to see you around during the week. Yeah, have a good week, and let's see if you get that race win or not.
And thank you very much.
Yeah. See you. Okay, that was your P2 sitter. We're going to get in the final interview, the Aston Martin of Dodge Demon. He is still sitting in his VC. Gonna have to pull him up to there we go. Pull him up to the commentary rocks. Hello, Dodge Demon. Hello.
This time I won't move like a pleb.
What?
When you pulled me in like not long ago, I left like an idiot.
Oh.
Point.
So, in the race, you did score points, but it definitely could have been a lot more points for you.
Yeah.
21 seconds in time penalty. What happened there?
Oh, there was a lot of things. I was like, should I push? Because when I was P5 behind one of the Red Bulls, I was like, if I push, I probably won't gain, but I'll put on the AlphaTauri and the McLaren. And when I was just pushing too much through like Eau Rouge and stuff, and then it's giving me warnings, and I'd get other warnings.
So,
but
just trying to push
overall,
a bit too hard in the wets then.
Yeah, but overall, I'd personally say I had a good race after having a very shit quali. Like a very, very bad quali. I think I was like not last. I think I was one. Yeah, I think I was like 17th. Then I have like 18 or 19 drivers.
So you could be a contender for driver of the day, but you've got to question what would have happened if you had not got those time penalties.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean.
And then when I saw that Red Bull just closing in on that final lap, I was like,
on the soft tires.
I'm just. Yeah, I was like, I'm just not.
The difference between the fastest lap there. Let me have a look.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna move. I was like, I'm just gonna steer left for the right hander just so we can go past.
Yeah, we saw that on the onboards. But what do you think of Singapore then? Hopefully, there's no rain there.
Oh, Singapore! I like the street circuits, but it's going to be quite hard if I get another bad quali because it's not a very strong place for overtakes. That place, but the 2023 game is going to have a better Singapore.
By time Singapore is by time Singapore is happening in Racers United, we will have a release date for F123. There's rumours that it's going to be on the 16th of June, which is the same week the Tier 2 finishes.
Ooh.
It's going to be perfect. Yeah, we will see you next week in Singapore.
See you there as well, mate.
See ya. Okay, you know what? We'll do one last interview with the Ferrari. We want to find out what happened in the race and in quali. Hello, Rolo.
Yo.
So obviously things did not go your way today. Not in the quali, not in the race. You actually spun and crashed out in the same place as your teammate did. which I thought was quite a coincidence. The only 2 DNFs in the entire session.
Yeah, it was just really, really unfortunate. I wasn't particularly fond of the wet weather in Spa. Obviously, it's a very fast track, and with wet conditions, it's quite difficult.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what happened in both of them. In quali, I kind of just randomly lost traction at Eau Rouge and spun off there. And then in the race, I sort of just lost grip as well. I was trailing behind my teammate there, trying to hit the overtake, and I just locked up and went.
Into the barrier. So you were the only safety car. Your spin caused the only safety car of the race, and that in turn closed AT's gap. And I think had that safety car not come out, he might have been on course to win that race. So what's your thoughts on that? You might prevent AT from getting a race win.
Well, hopefully that wasn't the leading cause, because that would be a bit embarrassing. It was a good race nonetheless. There was some very good racing from the drivers today.
Is Singapore going to be any better for you though?
Singapore, I have not a lot of experience in, but I am practicing. I'm trying to gain up that lap time a little bit. But hopefully, yeah, we can get a better result in Singapore.
Okay, that's good to hear then. So we will see you next week in Singapore.
See you guys.
See ya. Okay, we're going to end the stream right there. First off though, I want to check something. I want to check if the I want to check who's leading driver of the day vote at the moment, and I will tell you that there's 11 votes so far. Get your votes in, remember. And the leader for driver of the day at the moment is ATJ with 3 votes. So get your vote in, and you might be the one who decides who gets driver of the day. Now, for today's raid, hopefully... Oh, I need to get it on Twitch. Okay. Hopefully, this time it works. If anyone remembers, it didn't work last time. Right, okay, the raid is starting. Remember, join the raid, get your channel points. We will be adding some channel point stuff later in the season for both of the things. And yeah, just remember, let them know who sent you. I'm going to let this ad break happen for 10 more seconds, and then we will start the raid. Everyone spam Racers United or whatever. I don't know. Do whatever you want to do. Stay, don't stay. But whatever it is, have a good rest of your day. And remember, vote for your driver of the day. Here we go then.